Hey guys, this is Jen back again with Module 2, Lesson 1, What Do You Want to Be Known For? So in this module, I'm giving you this lesson. In this module, I am giving you like a pre-lesson to help get the creative juices flowing and getting you in the flow and connected with yourself, because it's going to help set two very important statements for your business. And so this is some of the questions to help get that spot going, because the next two lessons, you're going to be feeding off of them as well. Now, I want to make it crystal clear, as you're working through each of these lessons, just like I talked about in the intro video, you are getting each of these to a starting point. We are not achieving perfectionism. You will get to a point you know, okay, I like that, that feels right. That's what you want to achieve in this, is a working starting point. I would tell you that I am finessing mine as I'm beginning and putting out this 30-day, foundation training for you guys. And each day I get a little crystal clear when I read it and connect with it in the morning when I'm sitting down to do my work. That's in my success plan. So, again, it's a starting point. You're going to revise it maybe daily for a while, maybe weekly. You may hit it, and nail the statements right from the get-go. Each one of us work a little different, and depending on where you're at in your biz journey too, on how close you will nail those. So just allow yourself to get curious. Set some boundaries around your time and just go and be in your power. Take the time, do this. Don't give your power away to your ego and say, well, I need this to be perfect. Okay? This is going to evolve over time. This is not set in stone. And it's going to get clearer the more things and pieces you implement and start putting out. Like I said, I'm revising mine just about every couple times I read it. I get a little more crystal clear on the elements of it and what I want it to be. Obviously I'll get to a point that it's very, I want to say connecting, but that it's just right. And I won't feel the need to tweak it. The more people I talk to and the more things I implement and everything else. So allow yourself that time, okay? And so I'm just going to review some of the questions that are in the worksheets that you can download below for this lesson. And again, what do you want to be known for? And it's just allow you that time to, to get curious. So some of the common questions out there in the industry: what does your business stand for or believe in? You would never want to be seen as. And I'll be honest, I thought that question was a bit weird myself, but I came back to it and I ended up writing some things down, okay? And then, what do you wish you could do, or what do you like to learn about the most? And then the third one that you can approach it with is, are you learning something and you're going to teach it as you go? That's kind of where my way came from. I'm swearing off a coach I've told myself right now I'm committed to a year. If that should change, I will listen to myself. But the whole point is I need to listen to myself and dig into this stuff and stop expecting validation to come from a coach. It's creating, I think the coaching industry right now is creating a bit of a codependency coaching, saying you aren't going to succeed if you don't have a coach. And I think that's just setting us up. We've moved codependency relationships into the coaching world with coach to coach is so you can succeed. It's not allowing you to be in your power when that happens. And so that's my philosophy fully right now, because it's been my experience. I'll be completely transparent with you guys. It's been my experience. I did not realize for the longest time I was a bit codependent in a relationship, that I've shifted that, but I kind of shifted it out of my personal relationship and it's shifted into my business. So I want to encourage you, stay in your power. If you have not seen results, connect with yourself and stop trying to listen to others. It's the only way you're going to dig in and truly pull out. I'll tell you, since I've adapted this philosophy the last couple months, it's been a whole lot more quieter, and I'm so much more clearer. There's not so much noise intermingling. So it's been fabulous. Okay, so a few more questions. What do you like to talk about or do? And what do people come to you and say that you're good at, or just notice a pattern of what they come to you for over and over? And then what do you have experience in? So dig deep. These may be enough working space for you. Don't be afraid to go to a journal if you need to expand or a lot is coming up for you to help you. It's only going to help you in the rest of this module so that you get more clear and can pinpoint that stuff a lot better. Okay? So some common power leaks, and I've already mentioned a few of them and ones I've also experienced. The biggest mistake in the beginning I made was not knowing what I stood for in the right languaging for myself. I thought I knew what it was, and each marketing or coach or message coach I hired nobody was nailing it. So I finally took a step backwards and I hired a coach who was all about being able to read you at your core, because I kept saying things over and over and I knew it, but I wasn't finding the words to describe it properly. Okay. And I finally hired a coach who was really good at nailing it, and she nailed me. Crystal clear nailed me. And that's where, independence came from. And it wasn't too long after she, seen what I was all about at my core and what I stood for when I couldn't, and this is what I mean, not knowing what you stand for, because you're also taking the time to, I know there's a ton of learning curve coming into the online world as a coach, and you have websites to learn, and all that stuff is cool, especially if you are into technology. I love it. Some of us, it's a huge growth curve, but you have to learn how to express your soul truth, what you are at your core, because that's going to be very prominent. It's just like I talked about in the intro module, it is one of the 3 souls that make up your business, So get curious. Stop learning the other stuff until you are crystal clear in this, because that's what cost me 6 years. So have I learned a lot, and did I grow through that, through mindset work and everything? Heck yeah. But you have to the sooner you can express what you are at your core, because it's adding into your business, you will grow and succeed faster if you take the time to go there first versus learning all the other technology stuff that can come. Okay? Especially if you're, that true solopreneur and can't hire it out. So just encourage you. This is where you need to start to see that success faster. And then, like I said, I've already talked about this a little bit, is seeking approval and validation on everything. Especially from the wrong type of coach. Not all coaches can do this. I expected some of them to help with that, and they really couldn't. It's just not in their zone of genius at all. And unfortunately, it just took me quite a few coaches to get to that. Okay, so you have to know with every fiber of your being that it's aligned for you, or at least a place you're willing to test and to start and to fine tune as you go. Or go find the coach who can help you with this. Again, not all can. There is very few that I'm aware of right now that do it. I'm trying to put together a resource for this. Now, there is one resource I took right after I worked with my one coach who nailed my core. I took a sales copy quiz. And she is updating this soon, but so this website link may not work much longer. And when I took her quiz, I was shocked at what came up. and it was freedom, and I've cropped this so I can read a little more for you. So my language is freedom, independence, faith, truth, and openness. Those 5 words, and I stared at that in awe for months because I couldn't put it together. But it's part of what I stood for at my core, and especially independence, but my top personal value is freedom. But independence was said in a different way by the other prior coach, and that's when I knew my brand. It was Rock Your Independence, and it's because what I stand for, it's who I am. And even my mom and I has had a conversation about me being so independent. She's like, I have not had to worry about you at all. But these 5 words I stared at for months. I'm like, what do these words mean? Why? Because I didn't end up going into Kelly Jo's course, but probably would have helped me faster. However, I stared at these, and they truly just spoke to me, and it took me a long time to realize that they're mainly my personal values. A lot of them are, but they've become also part of what I teach. Obviously independence being the top, my umbrella, which we'll talk about more later in another module. And then, all of us don't stand our faith enough, and I'm not talking about your mama's faith either, but a lot of us tend to stay in that worry phase, the lower self, the ego self, way too much versus our faith and our higher self. I'm definitely all about truth. I'm a truth teller. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm very much about openness and freedom, and so it made sense that this is my language because it's who I am at my core. And I've taken the test. I'll be honest, I've taken the test numerous times of Kelly Jo's because I was like, this has got to be a fluke. It's come up the same one every time. So it's a great resource. However, I don't want you resorting to it being the go-to thing. I want you to go into yourself first. If you continuously go outside of yourself, you make that a habit. It's no different than with a coaching, if you're using a tool too. Learn to go within yourself, and then the crystal clarity, like I said, from tools like that will come and be of help. But please don't just jump right to that resource I gave you. Don't do that to yourself. Take the time to go within and know at your core what you stand for. It will help immensely in answering some of those questions, because again, it's going to set you up for the next 2 lessons that are really key in your business foundation. So I hope this helps you. Again, always have fun doing this. It's not anything to be painful. You're just in that curious state, like a child state, to be looking at your core. So I'll let you get to the lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson.